Okay, so we're moving on to the next element, another bass sound with massive. So inserting another MIDI track. You can also hit Command T for that purpose. Go to plugins and then select massive down here. Drag it onto this channel. And let's look for a sound called delay here. This one. It's actually a bass, but I called it delay. And you can see we are playing a square wave and a bit of a saw wave and a bit more of a square wave here. And there's a bit of ring and phase modulation going on. So if we play this sound, let's drag it down. Right, and there's an envelope on this low pass filter here. Thereby we achieve this blocky sound. If I were to mute that one actually. We even have chorus on the sound. Actually, I don't want to do that now, so just go back to the preset. All right, draw in some MIDI for this one. So let's go to the third bar. And we are going to play some stuff here. Let's go to E. Okay, let's put it to 16th notes and start with 4th and go. Right. With the 4th one, play an 8th note, and now if we select it here in 1, 2, 3, in the 3rd 16th note, we can actually duplicate it with one paused, like this if we hit Command D. Duplicate, Command D. Now here we are exactly on the kick, so we need a bit of sidechaining too. We can name this clip to bass delay. Copy a sidechain from the upper track and bring it up here and take it down. Ratio up. Nice. Audio effects and EQ 8. Leave room for bass. And stay somewhere at 270 or something. Beef it up a little bit in the higher frequencies here. Okay, and we have this nice ping pong delay here on our 4th return channel, and let's just drag that up and get a bit of delay in there. Okay, minus 15 should be enough. So let's listen back. All right, rename this to massive delay. And let's move on to the next element, another MIDI track. That one's going to be called Stabs. And what we're looking for is a sample called Synth Easy. Right, this one. Bring it down. And we need to do a bit of processing on this one. Copying the sidechain. You know what? Just copy both those devices and bring them down here. And sort of create a MIDI clip. Let's start with one bar. Rename it to Stab. Command R is the renamer. And go in there. And we are going to play a pattern like, actually 2 times this pattern. Oh no, that's not what we're looking for. Another one. So this is very handy when you know your pattern, but you kind of messed up the speed. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And I want to just have this thing play through without really like needing to take any turns. So let's make this 2 bars here and see if that works. I want to duplicate, so I'm selecting everything. And you see we can stop here, because here we're exactly stopping with the bar. So taking the region down and taking those 2 off. And now, since we are playing triplets, and we can just go on always playing those triplets. Now we do want to take this down a little bit and add in an auto filter, because we are going to filter that thing up and down later. Select the high pass filter here, and then this will be automated in a later stage. Now we are taking it a little bit to the right here. Also, we want a little bit of reverb on that sound. Well, maybe it's not going to be, it should be a rather long reverb. So I'm selecting the Taurus dial again after this auto filter. And we're going to cut some highs here. And also here. Chorus off. A bit of pre-delay. And now let's go for longer time. Now we also want to add in a ping pong delay here and automate it later. So I'm not using the send effect. I'm using a separate one. Let's take this feedback down and take the time to put it to time mode and put it up to because we want, in a later break that we are going to play, we want this merge somehow with a pad later. And bring it down a little bit to a bit less feedback, maybe 32 or something. Also want to try chorus effect here. So subtile. Let's actually put that one onto a return channel. Insert return track here and drag that thing onto the return channel. Open it up all the way. 1, 2, 3. Go to send it there. And let's actually go back to the subtile and tweak the feedback. Maybe we need this effect for a break later, so we can automate this up and make it sound really tacky in the end. Okay, we also need the same thing for a little sound we're going to put in later that's going to sound nice as well. So I'm just duplicating the entire thing. Just keep the low cut here. Maybe we're going to, and we're putting off reverb and ping pong. Actually, you can take them out. And put this to the center. And we're just going to play one note at the end of 4 bars or 8 bars. So going in here, yeah, we're going to play this guy at 1.4.3. That's it. Everything else is not needed anymore. And I'm going to call this stab support. Stab support. All right, let's close bass sounds and stab sounds and all that and gain a little bit of overview again. We can actually take this. Is something on this audio track? No, it was just not made on purpose. This is what we have so far. It might be a bit cryptic still, but we just need to build up all those basic elements in order to have a good foundation to design this rather complex track. All right, so now we put in this delay bass element here and also a synth easy stab sound and well, a bit of sidechaining behind it. We cut some low end here to leave space for like lower frequencies and not interfering with those. We also put in an auto filter that might be automated in the filter frequencies here later. And also we entered a Taurus style long tail reverb to be sure we can open up that sound and send it to the background. And also we put in a ping pong delay. And then we copied this thing and, well, made it into one single blippy sort of element that can be played like a percussive hit at the end of the 4th or 8th bar or something. And also put in a bit of low cut and sidechain compression and took off the reverb because it should be more like clicky and punchy in here.